share my screen. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon or good morning. Thank you for being here. Today we have the Tomorrow's Leaders Program Alumni Panel. We have 6 alumni with us today. They're joining us to talk about their experience as a Tomorrow's Leaders undergraduate student. So I'm joined here today by my team members, and I will be introducing the alumni just shortly after I go over the program. So overview of the program, like if you don't know, sponsored by the Department of State's U.S. Middle East Partnership Initiative, which is MEPI. You've heard that around probably. So we have undergraduate scholarship and it supports students with financial needs. And we have over 1,000 alumni serving as leaders across the MENA region. We also have our application that is live and it's due on November 25th, 2025. So if you haven't started your application, we urge you to start it as soon as possible and submit it by November 25th. And today we have 6 beautiful alumni with us. So we have Hadil El-Yuzuri, computer science graduate of AUB 2022. We have Salah Bulnour, an AUC 2024, and Farah Haj Amour, psychology, LAU 2022. And we have Fadi, political science, AUB 2020. And we have Hussein Turki, graduated biology, AUC 2025. And we have Maryam Harsha, marketing, LAU 2025. So if now you can ask your questions to our alumni and learn from their experience. If you have any specific questions about the programs at each of the universities, this is your time to ask for their guidance or their advice or answer your questions that our team might not really know.
Dahlia, why don't you kick us off with a couple questions while we let the chat and the Q&A get filled in?
Of course. 1 second. So let me just think of a question real quickly. I'm sorry. Okay. What is one advice that you would give our prospective students to regarding their application? How can they have a strong application?
I think I can take this one. I think one of the most important aspects for this application is to have a coherent story through all the steps of the application. For example, if you want to study, let's say, psychology, but all your volunteering experiences are in computer science, let's say, it would be useful to just try to align the experiences with what you want to study, with what you mentioned in the essay, to help people who are checking the applications to have a smooth flow over the application and to see that, yes, this person really wants to pursue this major and they have passion and they went out of their way to do extracurricular activities and volunteering, things like this. I guess this is the main advice I would give.
If I could jump in and add on what Hadil said, I think as well another important advice is to be as specific as possible. For instance, instead of saying I am creative or I have leadership potential, is to try to tell us what experiences do you have that testify to that? How are you creative? What did you do? What community service projects have you done? What was your participation? Instead of saying we did, what did you do? What was your input as an individual? Because you might have amazing talent and great potential, but they don't know you. So you have to tell that story. You have to tell them who you are and what potential you have, and just tell them who you are and be specific. Yeah. So.
Thank you. Any other alumni wants to add to that?
I can also add that be yourself. Don't try so hard to be like, don't try so hard to like see what they're looking for and just try to like be that person. Just talk about yourself, your experiences, be genuine about it. And then if you're someone who's passionate about your community, I always tell whoever asks for my advice to showcase that in their application, because that's one of the component in order to be part of this program. So showcase how you're passionate, what you want to change in your community, and be yourself.
Thanks so much. We've got one question in the chat. This is just a general application question that I'm wondering if someone can answer on our team. Is it possible to apply for a master's degree? I can answer that. So this year, the Tomorrow's Leaders program is just for undergraduate students. That's why we have all of these alumni here. They're here to answer your questions. So if you have any more questions, feel free to put them in the chat and the Q&A box. And I believe Dahlia has some more questions we can ask in the meantime.
Yes. So I have another question for the alumni. What was the most memorable academic experience that you had as a TL participant?
I can take this one.
Yeah, go ahead, Mariam.
So I personally believe being a TL student or a part of the TL journey, it's all memorable and it's all exciting and it's all filled with memories, filled with achievements. But however, the part that stood out most to me and to a lot of my colleagues, I would say, was our US exchange semester, because we already were out of our comfort zone. We were already challenging ourselves, whether it was in Lebanon or in Egypt. However, going to the US and meeting like different people from all across, just the experience itself along with the support of the TL and FHI team was just so memorable to me, at least.
For me, it was the MAPI capstone project, because so I studied psychology and my minor was performing arts. And for my capstone for MAPI, it was like an amalgamation of both, which was drama therapy for children with autism. So it was for me the culmination of everything that I've learned during the MAPI or the MAPI TL experience, because it was not only just a project about my academic potential, but also my leadership potential. So for me, it was a way to see for myself and to demonstrate to everyone what I've learned throughout. And it was, as I said, the culmination and something tangible of what I've learned throughout. Because you go through the experience and you learn so much, and you go through a lot of workshops and you learn, but sometimes you don't realize how much growth you have gone through or how much skills you have gained until that moment, which is like during your senior year, and then you get to do this project. So I did really love that.
Yeah, following up to what Farah said, I think one of my most memorable memories was in the joint TL graduation ceremony, because you get to see everyone that you had this journey with. And I had the chance to be the valedictorian of my cohort, so I had to prepare for a speech, and while preparing for that speech, I remembered all the 4 years and thanked all the people. And I always go back and watch that speech, and I can tell it to you blindly because I remember it had a lot of the memories. it included thanking a lot of the people who were with me. And I remember my peers cheering up during that. So it's at the end, when you're done with MEP, you'll build alongside academics, you'll build a huge community that you'll hold dear for, I think, forever. So yeah, that was one of the most memorable events for me.
We have a question in the chat. Someone is asking, what is the one thing that will make our application stand out if we're not able to do very impressive things and we're not so in need of money, like not that poor? So basically, I think it's just asking, what is something that will make our application stand out?
I can answer the first part of that question. So as for me personally, when I first applied, I was young. I was 16 by the time I was applying, or 17, I don't remember. And I do not come from a major city in my country. So the city that I grew up in didn't have a lot of activities or a lot of opportunities to be fully engaged in the community and all of that. Like the closest thing to me was almost a 4 hours ride, and given that I was still in high school, still underage, it was not that safe for me to go all that way. So if you don't have a lot of activities and all of that, you could just be yourself and show that you are confident in yourself and that you have some great potential. Like, why should they choose you? They do take into account that you might not have had the opportunity to participate in such things, but you've tried through some online things or some local things. Even small activities do count. So for that part, just be confident in yourself. And if you know you are a leader and you're already trying to work hard, that is more than enough for you to be part of the program. If you have potential, that will be highly considered.
Hello.
If I could, yeah, sorry,
Oh, I'm
go.
sorry. Okay. I think that generally for standing out, I would say that one important thing is to show that you care about the world and you're engaging with your community, and the type of activities you talk about don't have to have the same regular form, which is I did a club and all of that. It can be more diverse than that. It just shows that you're trying to create something. You have some passion. For example, one of the activities I talked about during my application was this thing we were doing just within our family, with my cousins, where it was there was a family gathering, and like we would put on a show with like some theater, some music, and some stuff like that. And I was sort of, because I'm the oldest cousin, so I was organizing that. And so I just want to give you an example of how diverse the kind of activities you can talk about are. And so don't limit yourself to one vision. Think of, so what's your vision generally for your life, and what are the things that you do because you care, or that you do because you're passionate about them. And they can really be as diverse as they can be really be that diverse, as long as you connect them all together. It's not just all sorts of activities. They have to be connected to who you are and who you want to be and what you want to benefit from the program. I would recommend, really, what I suggest for this application or any sort of application process, to take it as a moment of reflection about your life and what you want to do, because it's not only the application, it's also beneficial, because I've personally learned a lot about myself through these applications, because it's really a moment that pushes you to reflect about what you want to do.
Thank you so much. So I have another question in the chat. Any of you feel free to answer. What kind of career opportunities did the program open up for you after graduation?
I can maybe start. I graduated in December 2024, and after that, I worked in Egypt, which is where I did the master's program, the undergraduate program, sorry. Um, so I worked there for a few months, and now I'm doing my master's degree. My undergraduate was in economics, and I'm doing my master's degree at the Paris School of Economics in Paris.
So for me, after I graduated in 2022, and after that, I went back to Tunisia and I worked in schools as a school psychologist and specializing in special education. And how does that relate to the program? Well, you gain so much from this program that when you apply for a job or when they are interviewing you, they see that you have so much to offer because it's not just academics, it's leadership potential, it's different skills, it's communication skills. So throughout the program, you go through so much. And as I said, you learn so much that at the end of it, you realize that with everything that you've learned, you have become one of the top applicants in your field thanks to MEPI. So for me, after I worked, then after that, after 2 years, I applied for a master's with another scholarship in the UK, and that's where I'm doing a master's in children's psychological disorders. And I do believe that my second scholarship, which is also prestigious and also based on leadership potential, I don't think that would have happened without MEPI, because I learned so much from MEPI, and I became there are a lot of leadership skills that I've learned, and I unleashed my potential with MEPI. That thanks to that, and thanks to what I've learned at LAU, that's what took me to the next step.
Just to add on to what Farah said, like she mentioned, the program already prepares you more than enough for you to enter the job market, whether it's through the volunteering that you have to do or the internships that are part of the program, or the trainings and everything that you do as part of the program already gives you a solid background for you to be like an ideal candidate later on. Whatever you're applying to, you already find yourself um, very exposed to a lot of different fields. You already have the experience and all of that. I myself, I'm a recent graduate. I just graduated this past June. However, it was very easy for me to find jobs, whether here in my country, Algeria, or even in Lebanon. So the program already prepares you, and also usually the universities too do offer support because they do have career fairs. There is the like specific offices that you go to improve your CV, to get career guidance and all of that. And it's the same also with the MEPI team. So you always have people supporting you in that regard.
Thank you so much. We've got another question in the chat that sort of balances off of that. How did you balance academic life and extracurricular commitments during the program? What is that balance during the program like?
I think from when you start your undergraduate degree, you will have to balance your life forever. So there will always be a lot of things in your life that you have to balance. So I think a good technique is to plan well or have good time management skills, or learn how to manage your time, because there's a lot to learn from your MIP experience and a lot to experience. And I would be sad if someone only goes there for their academics. I want, of course, do good in your academics. I had a 4 GPA, but I also made sure that I visit places and I go do these volunteering and extracurricular activities and meet people in student clubs and things. So I think if you manage to manage your time well and set aside a fixed time for everything and organize your priorities. I know this sounds easier than it's done, and till now, I'm still figuring and learning ways to manage my time. But I think if you have the will and if you want to have these different experiences, you'll have to work on kind of organizing your life, managing your time, prioritizing different things. So that would be my advice.
I also have another advice. So, academics is going to always be there, the assignments, the things you need to do. One thing that helped me, of course, it's a journey in terms of like time management and how to balance both of these things. But I think one of the things that helped this thing become easier is that in terms of extracurriculars, I would choose things that I'm passionate about things that I'm really care about, so that when I leave academics and I go do something, I know that it's gonna be like I'm gonna enjoy my time and it's gonna be a nice time off from academics. So it's kind of helped me to like be excited about these things and getting involved and doing all these things without getting overwhelmed and burned out eventually. So I think picking things that you care about and things you think you will enjoy in terms of extracurriculars make it quite easier with time.
Thank you so much for that. We have another question in the chat. So this is a two-part question. What was the biggest challenge you faced as a scholar, and how did you overcome it? And what's something unexpected you gained from being part of tomorrow's leaders? So again, that's what was the biggest challenge you faced as a scholar, and what's something unexpected you gained from being part of the Tomorrow's Leaders program? We'd love to hear from many of you guys on that.
For me, the biggest challenge was, and it relates to the previous question, it's about managing my time. The first year, I was just focused on my academics because I was so scared. I just wanted to do really well. And there was a lot of anxiety because it's the unknown, it's a new environment, it's a new country, everything is so new. And then I learned little by little how to manage my times and my time. And that's why I wanted to add is that it's a journey and you're allowed to make a few mistakes. And the great thing about MEP is that there's a great team around you, and you will have trainings and on time management, and they'll support you. And if you're struggling with specific subjects, they're going to be helping you. So for me, that was realizing that MEP is more than academics. Academics are very important, but then once you start engaging with the community, you start doing other things like theater for me personally. It enriches the experience so much that after that, you cannot just focus on academics. It becomes a balance that you enjoy, and it fuels you when you go and do other things. When you go back to your studies, you're just more passionate about it and you want to do more. And then you don't want to procrastinate because you have other things planned for the day. So that was like the learning journey for me.
And
I
what
can
about,
share.
oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
go ahead.
What was the second question?
Yes, I was just going to remind everyone, what's something unexpected you gained from being part of the Tomorrow's Leaders program?
I would say it makes me really happy to answer this question because I think the community that I was surrounded by, incredible, very inspiring people. I learned a lot from my colleagues, more than what I ever expected. So we used to have this thing called like we always have like talks, and all the cohort will gather and we just share like experiences and reflections. And I learned a lot from these. And like those people also made me realize some things I didn't know about myself, which kind of also pushed me and encouraged me to do things I never thought I would do. So I think the community is something I did not even think of when I applied, but eventually became one of the best things in the program in my experience.
Yeah, and to add to that, not only the community, but the diversity of the community that we get. So before I joined MEPI, like I did not know people from, let's say, Algeria or Tunisia or the North African side of the Middle East. And I didn't have friends across the world. Now I always tell people I have a MEPI friend everywhere I try to visit, which is amazing. Not everyone can have this if not part of a group like MEPI. So that's something valuable that we all gain from being part of Tomorrow's Leaders.
Thanks so much. So I see another question in the chat, and this one is asking, what do you think is the most important factor that got you accepted? So I'll just elaborate on that. Do you think there's anything on your application that made you stand out? And what do you think was the most important factor that got you accepted?
I don't know what's the most important factor that the people who are looking at the applications were inspired by the most, but I think, as I mentioned at the beginning, it's important to have a well-rounded application to show that you are a good candidate. For example, you have good grades, you have a good TOEFL score or English exam score, you show that you're engaged with the community, you put effort in your essays. I think there isn't one single thing that stands out, unless, of course, you have an amazing grade in English or something like this. But putting an effort in every part of the application will show off, and just you being an ideal candidate and someone who likes to lead, someone who likes to experience, someone who's passionate will show in these applications. And then, of course, when I think one very important part is the interview where they will see how confident you are, how passionate you are about what you do and what you want to do, and how you look forward to the MEPI experience. So these all show in the experience. I'm sorry I didn't give something specific, but just because I don't think there is something specific, it's important to focus on all the parts and submit a well-rounded, comprehensive application.
Yes, I agree with Hadid because I couldn't pinpoint one specific thing that made me be part of the program or get accepted into the program. I believe that it's a mix of things. It could be your academics, it could be your personality, it could be the vision that you have for yourself. I personally, in my application, I believe the one thing that I focused on was being truly myself. I didn't try to paint another image or an ideal image that I thought the program was looking for. I was being fully myself. I talked about what I did before, what I'm planning to do later on, how do I envision myself, how do I see the program benefiting me, how can I give back to my community later on. So I believe that you being fully honest and being yourself is very important. Because that will showcase how passionate you are about actually making a change later on, and I believe that this is an important quality that the program is looking for. However, if you play around it or try to make it the ideal quality that the program is looking for, it's gonna show that you're trying to be something that you're not. So I would just say be full yourself and showcase who you really are.
And just one quick addition to that, it's important to know what you're applying for. Some people just go and apply for scholarships without knowing what the program is about, or what are the universities that I'm applying to, what the universities is like, or what's the system in it. So it's always important to familiarize yourself with applications you're applying to, whether in scholarships, career, jobs, things like this. This is a plus for you.
Dahlia, do you have any other questions for us?
Sure. So there's one question I was interested to ask, and so it's more like some of you touched up on that, but did you do the study abroad program, any of you, or a specific internship or a research assistantship, anything like that? Could you tell us about that experience? Briefly, you could talk about it.
I can talk about something I did in my semester abroad that I didn't think that I'm even capable of doing it. So, one thing I learned it throughout the program is that there's always something you have that you can give to the community around you, and just do something or volunteer. So one thing I noticed when I was in the States is that I know Arabic and so many people don't. So I was thinking of how can I use that? How can I make this really beneficial around me? And the thing I did is that I contacted with NGOs that are related to refugee resettlement in the States. And I was telling them that I'm ready to volunteer if they want me to translate or do anything. And I eventually ended up helping in an NGO in Colorado, in which I would just like, they would call me to translate some of the conversations with the clients and help with that. And I eventually did, because the clients were like Arabic speaking individuals. So this is something I never thought that I'm capable of doing, but it's just something I ended up trying, and it was pretty interesting.
Actually, Hassan, we got a question for you specifically in the chat. This says, I'm also from Yemen, and I'd love to know how you applied your experience there after graduation.
So I recently just graduated, like, yeah, in June. And since then I have been like, I'm still in Cairo, and but I'm ready to go back home like soonish. And one of the things that I've been doing already before even graduating is that I'm aware of the skills I learned throughout being like a TL scholar and a student at AUC. And whenever I go home in the winter break or whatever, I do volunteering, I teach. I try to get involved in some like volunteering position I know that I'm capable of doing. So I did not go back home yet, but I'm going soon, and I'm pretty excited to go back and see what I can do and what I can get involved in. But I'm pretty like excited about it, and we'll see how that goes. But I'm not there yet. Hopefully soon.
Throwing it back to you, Dahlia.
Thank you so much. If any of you have any last advice for our potential applicants or applicants right now, if you have anything you want them to know about the program altogether or about the application, like just any encouragements or anything like that, that would be nice.
I think I'll just say this is one of the best experiences you'll ever have in your life. If it was in my hand, I would go and redo my years at AUB with MAPI. So even if you're applying for several scholarships, this one is very special, and I would say put all your efforts in it and try to show the leader potential in you, and write the essays very well, let someone else check them for you, study for your English exam very well, and in the end, it's going to be worth it, and you'll remember this meeting. So good luck to all of you.
Yeah, just to add on again on what Hadi said, this is not just any scholarship. I know a lot of people are just like trying to study abroad, so they're like mass applying to all scholarships, and whatever pops up, they just apply to it. I don't personally believe that MEPI is one of those scholarships. It is a really prestigious one. It's an important one, one where you will benefit from. You'll be surprised of how much you'll grow, how much you learn. And again, the people that you'll meet, you'll make amazing connections, sometimes like lifelong lasting ones. Also, like Hadil said, you have a friend everywhere in the world. So whenever you're going to a country, you have somewhere who's there where you can visit again, see again. You will enjoy your life. It was one of the best 3 years I've spent in my life so far. Having lived in Lebanon and also my US exchange semester, I've learned a lot. I grew a lot. I wasn't the same person who left Algeria at 17. Now I'm a completely different person. And yeah, I would just say make the best out of your journey. You will have a lot of fun, you'll learn a lot. So yeah, make the best out of it. And you'll remember this meeting. We always have those specific moments that you remember, like when you first see the application or like when you submit and you're stressing out. And then later on, when you're about to graduate, all of those moments just come back to you and you realize how like it all went so fast.
Just to add on what was already said, I love this program so much. It changed my life in so many ways. I learned so much. And my advice is just try your best. Um, don't downplay your achievements, any clubs, any projects. The most important thing is that you tell them about your leadership potential, because then you will have all these years at MEPI with the program to unleash that potential. Just be yourself. I know everyone says that, but truly be yourself. Be specific about your contributions, about your passions, about what you want to contribute, how you want to enhance your communities, what visions you have. Just tell them, try your best, and hopefully everything will work out.
Thank you
That's-
so much. Sorry, go ahead, Madison.
That's the last of my questions. If you want to wrap up, Dahlia.
Yeah, sure. If anybody has last minute questions, no, we don't. Thank you so much, our beautiful alumni. Thank you so much for being here today, sharing your experience, and just talking about the Tomorrow's Leaders program and how it benefited you after graduation and during, and many aspects of life even. We really appreciate you today, or every day actually. So thank you for giving us your time to share your experience with our future TL participants. So key takeaways, I would say, focus on your applications, make sure you have all your components, like you worked on them and you submitted on time. And please contact us through our email, which is help@tomorrowsleadersprogram.org if you have any issues with your application or you have a specific question that is very specific to your situation. Please email us. Our team works on responding to our students within like 24 to 48 hours. We're here to support you. We're here to help you. And we are very excited to receive your applications and to read them and to get to know you even more. So thank you so much. And explore our website, tomorrowsleadersprogram.org, and our social media handles. And please remember, our due date is November 25th, 2025. So you have until November 25th to submit your application. We do recommend that you submit it as early as possible because you might run into some technical issues or some like missing documents, something like that. So please take time to like submit it on time. All right. Follow us on our social media. It's TLMEPI on all of the platforms. We also have an upcoming webinar on the 18th, which is last minute questions. So if you have any last minute questions, we have that webinar coming up. You could join us. You could find the links on our website for registration to that webinar. And like I said, thank you so much for being here today with us. And if you have any questions, please email us at help@tomorrowsleadersprogram.org. And my colleague, I just sent the registration link for the last minute questions that are that are scheduled for the 18th around the same time. So thank you so much. Thank you, alumni. I appreciate you. Thank you. This wouldn't have been possible without you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Thank you.
Thank you.